So I wanted to make a Victorian chemise for quite some time now. However, the time requirements of crocheting all that lace for the yoke, together with the fact that my sewing machine is sadly broken, so I will have to hand sew the whole thing. Will probably make this a long-term project, however simple it may be. So in this video, I will endeavor to explain how I'm planning to construct the shift itself. Then I tackle the lace pattern I'm using for the yoke. The yoke is comprised of little squares, or rather circles in fact. The actual shape and the exact appearance of it is a bit of a mystery, because the pattern I chose does not have an accompanying illustration, most unfortunately. In fact, I think this is the first time ever I'm deciphering an original Victorian pattern without an illustration, so we'll see how that goes. First, for the construction of the crochet yoke, the pattern says this yoke is for a 36 inch or 90 cm bust size chemise, which is very convenient since I'm about that size. The pattern, however, does not specify the exact thread and hook to use to achieve that size, so we're essentially in the dark as usual. I read through all the other patterns in the book though, and I did find some that have recommendations for crochet threads, and that's usually number 40 or number 60 cotton or linen thread for lace work like this. I chose to go with the number 40 thread, and as much as I would have loved to use linen, the only kind I found available where I live is sold in a huge quantity, a 500 gram spool or something like that, and I'm not sure if I will ever need that much very thin linen thread, so cut on this for now. I crocheted with a 1mm hook, which resulted in circles that are about 2 2/5 of an inch or 6 cm in diameter. The circles of the yoke are sewn together in this manner, 6 side by side on the front, 6 on the back, 4 for each of the 2 straps, and 3 for each of the underarms. I might also do an insertion strip near the hem if I can crochet that many squares in a reasonable amount of time. So the entire circumference of the yoke is 18 squares, the 6 each at the front and the back, and the 3 at each underarm. The 6 squares on the front are joined together by these 3 loops, which essentially shapes them into elongated rectangles, about 2 2/5 of an inch or 6 cm long on this side, which means the circumference of the whole yoke will be about 43 inches or 108 centimeters. This is at least 7 inches or 18 centimeters bigger than my person, for I'm not even a 36-inch bust, but the chemise does have a drawstring, although I'm not sure how much of the circumference is meant to be gathered by it, probably not much. Looking at the examples I found online in various museums, I've concluded this might still work, and I really hope it will, but if not, I can still omit 1 square at the front and 1 at the back, I guess we'll see. Now onto the crochet yoke. The pattern I chose for this project is from Instructions for Crochet Work by Mrs. Livetta White, published by the Western Lace Manufacturing Company, which you can peruse for free if you wish. You will find the link in the description. The pattern itself is very easy, apart from a bit of vagueness that we will be able to overcome, and 1 minor error, I think. The yoke is basically 26 identical little circles sewn together. I demonstrate the making of these circles with a very light fingering weight wool, A, because you'll be able to see it better, I think, and B, because I haven't been able to find the exact match for this project in my stash, and the cotton crochet thread I ordered has not yet arrived when I started filming this video. A circle is crocheted like so. We begin with 8 chain stitches. Join them in the round. Then chain 3 and crochet 18 double crochets in the ring. If you take a peek at the beginning of the book, where, in works like this, the meaning of abbreviations and the execution of basic stitches is inevitably explained, we find that the double crochet is done like this. You do a yarn over, put your hook through the next stitch, 1 more yarn over, pull it through the stitch, 1 yarn over, pull it through 2 stitches, 1 more yarn over and pull it through the last 2 stitches. I achieved 18 double crochets in the first round by crocheting 2 double crochets in 6 of the chain stitches and 3 double crochets in 2 chain stitches. And that's the first round done. We start the next round by crocheting 4 chain stitches, then a double crochet in the first double crochet. Here there is a possible error, I think. The pattern says you should repeat the chain 2, double crochet, chain 2 part, which essentially means 4 chain stitches between each double crochet. I tried it this way, however, and the 4 chain stitches created bubbles or bumps here, so I opted to do only 2 chain stitches between the double crochets. You go all around alternating 2 chain stitches and 1 double crochet until the end. Then join the last 2 chain stitches to the third of the 4 chain stitches we began the row with. To start the next row, we chain 3, then we crochet 1 treble crochet into the first hole. A treble crochet in this instance is done by doing 2 yarn overs, then this. We don't crochet the treble crochet all the way through, we leave the last 2 loops on the hook, then start a new treble crochet in the same hole. Now we crochet all the loops of the hook 2 by 2. This first cluster of trebles is a little different from the rest, because this round is basically groups of 3 trebles crocheted into each hole from the previous row, but in the case of this first cluster, the first treble is replaced by the 3 chain stitches we began the row with. Okay, so this is what we'll be repeating 17 times. We crochet a treble in the next hole, but leave the last 2 loops on the hook, then we crochet another treble in the same hole, but leave the last 3 loops on the hook. Then we crochet a third treble in the same hole and crochet all the loops of the hook 2 by 2. Then we chain 3 and we do the whole cluster of trebles again in the next hole. You could of course crochet this into the middle chain stitch, but I did it this way because I thought it would be useful for the trebles to be able to slide on the chain stitches when I eventually assemble the yoke. By the end of the row, we have 18 clusters of trebles with the chain stitches in between. We join the last 3 chain stitches to the third of the 3 chain stitches we began the row with. And this is our last row already, and a very easy one at that. We chain 5 and crochet 1 single crochet in the first hole. Then repeat this 17 more times until the end of the row. In Mrs. White's opinion, a single crochet is done like this. We put the hook through the next hole, yarn over, pull the yarn through, 1 more yarn over, and pull the yarn through both loops. We join the last 5 chain stitches to the same place where the first 5 chain stitches began. And the first circle is complete, only 25 more to go. So thanks to the fact that editing the video takes a million years for me, I can now show you the circles done with the cotton crochet thread. This is how they look in their finished, albeit unblocked glory. In the next part of this project, which might be a bit further along, depending on how much time it takes for me to do all the hand sewing, we'll assemble the yoke and cut and sew the body of the chemise. Please click the subscribe button if you did find it helpful, and I hope to see you next time.